Ladies and gentlemen, hello, happy Friday. What is up? Welcome to another episode of 8-Bits version 1.5. I'm djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP, and once again, gracing us with his presence, we've got Jeff Green, GreenSpeak on Twitter. Guys,
hello.
Welcome. We converge once again for another discussion in video games, and what a week it's been. Seem like we say that a lot, but as we gear up for the next generation, there's just a lot out there, a lot on the plate. So it's great to get together with you guys again. What's up?
Not too much, man.
I'm waking up over here.
Yeah. Me and Jeff both are just waking up. So
you got 2 hours on me though. You have no excuse.
Yeah, no, I have no excuse at all. I was up till I still can't figure out what I was doing. I think. Oh, I was watching. I watched Homeland. I caught up on Homeland, and then I caught up on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was, not really the best decision. That show's not too great.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah,
Homeland's pretty good though. Homeland's really good.
Are you all caught up on Homeland?
Yeah, I like the twist that they just threw with Carrie. I thought that was.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's on my watch list.
Okay.
It's like
I'm not going to spoil. This won't be a spoiler. I promise. I'll speak in vague generalities. That twist bothered me.
Yeah.
Because I feel that they cheated. I feel that there were scenes that they showed with Carrie for us only in earlier episodes that don't make sense in light of the twist.
You might be
that's
right.
all I'm saying.
/r/conspiracy.
And Mandy Patinkin, you gotta love him.
That's true. That's true. He was good.
Yeah.
Or he is good.
I can't wait to
he
watch
didn't die,
it.
guys. I promise.
I can't wait to watch it. I
can't speak in the past tense.
So let me kick things off, since I've been up for a while, actually, for a long while now. Many people have already been asking, how's the wife? What's going on? What's the update? So first and foremost, my wife has this wonderful little uncurable disease called gastroparesis. And what it does is it affects the muscles in the stomach and does all sorts of things, from not being able to digest well to like throwing up a lot. And it generally sucks, but there's not much she can do. And every once in a while, it gets so bad that she will get so dehydrated that she has to go to the ER and she has to get fluids and whatnot. So that's what she's doing right now. They try to give her some medicine to stop the throwing up and put fluids in her. And it's kind of like, it sucks because it's getting to the point in life where it's like, okay, I was telling you guys, my wife was like, just drive me around the ER entrance and kick me out and just go, because we both know it's like it's sitting in a freaking room, getting some stuff put in your arm. So, she's in the best spirits. She held out for about 24 hours, and I was like, all right, it's time to go. So we went early this morning after dropping off the kiddo at school, and I'll be checking up with her later on this afternoon. But that's the story. So she's okay. It just got to the point where it's like, she had to have fluids. So. That's where we're at. If for some crazy reason the phone blows up and I have to leave, you know why. But I think everything's, for the most part, under control. It's more like a monitoring thing. But thank you, everyone who's given best wishes and who has asked. But she'll be okay. And I get to play Mr. Mom, which is always fun, you guys. I got to play Mr. Mom all day yesterday for Halloween.
Yeah.
It was And
awesome. How was that?
It was fun. I mean, shit. It's quality time with the kid, right? We went to the school costume parade. We went trick-or-treating. And I got to tell you, I'm thank God for the parents out there that set up thoughtful trick-or-treat stands. We went by this one side. They had a popcorn machine. They were popping popcorn. They had bottled waters. I walked up. I'm like, I insisted that we stop by this house. And the woman's like, does Dad want a beer? And I'm like, oh man, yes. So
things have changed.
I got a couple of beers on the trick or treat along the way. It was good stuff. I guess
as long as they're not handing out beers to the kids, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, and every parent walking around is like, I wonder what's in that plastic cup right there. It was pretty funny. I didn't realize it. It was that social of a activity.
So did you dress up with your son?
I didn't. Normally I do, and Jen was going to go. She was like as a Pokemon evolution or something. Like she had this little hoodie. And Mini Wheat was Ash Ketchum, of course, of Pokemon fame, and he was a total baller. So it was good times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't see a single trick-or-treater or anyone in a costume yesterday. I don't know if I live in like a terrible neighborhood or what. I didn't even realize it was Halloween until I like looked up at Reddit, and it was just like 300 posts of like pictures on the front page, and it was. I wanted my Reddit back, but yeah, I don't know. I guess
saw
I'll have
trick or treaters on Saturday here in Berkeley, which was weird. It was some like early pre-Halloween trick or treating because it was the weekend or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was
that's a thing. Yeah.
I guess so.
Neighborhoods will do it on different nights and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a bit light here too, but
seems un-American to me not to do it on Halloween. Yes, me.
I agree.
That's pretty true.
I agree. Only when there's been ice storms or blizzards have they ever moved Halloween.
Right.
And that's
I'll tell you, my worst Halloween as a father was when my daughter's older now, but when she was like 5 or 6 or so, she wanted to be a Dalmatian from 101 Dalmatians, and she asked my wife and I if we would dress up with her, and I was like, oh my god, okay. But I did it, and my wife put face paint on me, gave me like Dalmatians on, had a big stupid costume on, and we walked down the street, and this is a true story. We're walking down the street, and coming the other way, I see someone I haven't seen in years and years and years. Is my high school girlfriend.
Nice.
And I'm in this stupid Dalmatian outfit, and we're heading the other way, and I see her, and I recognize her right away, and I'm just totally like, oh my god, this is not the moment. I can't do this. So I'm trying to not make eye contact, and as we're walking by, she just says, "Hi, Jeff."
There's no hiding.
There was no hiding, but it was good because then I was able to say, okay, well, I'm a dad. See, look, I'm a good dad. Look what I'm doing.
There you go. Win-win.
In the
There you
end.
go.
Win-win.
That works out.
All right. Any Halloween stories, JP, before we move on to what we've been playing? Because I think
I don't even remember the last time I dressed up, man. I'm that old creepy guy at the end of the corner, apparently, that no one visits. I don't know. I don't have any interesting Halloween stories. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I had no shame when it came to Halloween.
Yeah.
One of my favorite years. I'll fill in a story for you. Add on to Jeff's. I had this teacher. She was like my homeroom teacher, and she had this bowl cut. Okay, keep in mind, it is the 90s, right? She was like one of the few teachers that had this bowl cut. Well, I happen to have the same exact haircut as her, so I was like, it'll be awesome. I'm just gonna go to school dressed as Halloween as like Miss Nelson, and yeah, she didn't really appreciate it that much. I thought it was freaking hilarious, but anyway. All right, what you guys been playing this week? What has been going on?
Jeff, why don't you start us off? We'll put you on
Okay,
the spot.
sure. I'll tell you what I'm not playing, which I know you guys have both been playing, and you'll probably talk a lot about, which is Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
So I'm not there yet. I will be not there yet.
Are you like? I mean, you're down to play it. You want to check it out?
I am. Yeah. Honestly, I skipped 3. I did, and I don't know why. It was probably just Battlefield burnout or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But now I'm psyched after watching all the videos.
The Battlefield dubstep was just like Jeff Grade. You watch
It was like a mortar hit. That's what I
Holy
feel like
shit.
when I'm trying to snipe and like the building's getting shook, from all the hits.
If people don't know me who are watching this, I'm actually currently an employee of EA. So it's possible that when I mention an EA game, it just explodes my.
They
my
just
set
got a
up here.
button and a camera. They're like, push the button he's talking about. Make his camera.
Yeah. I'm leaving though, so maybe actually that's why
That could
they're
be.
sabotaging me. Anyway, so I'm not playing Battlefield 4. What I am playing, I just finished Chapter 1 of The Wolf Among Us, which I talked about with you, or you guys talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and this is
I thought
the
it was
first
great.
time you've been sort of into the lore, right? Have you? Because if I recall, you were.
No. But it's been years and years though. I followed that comic when it first came out.
Okay.
So I have like the first 30 issues or so, or 20 issues as they came out, and then I quit comics because of bad spending reasons, which I'm sure you understand.
Right.
It was just one of those things where I had to cut out something.
Yeah.
And it was comics, but I do remember what it was about. But what I think is cool is I know the characters, but I didn't remember any of the stories, and I did not remember if this story came from the universe or not, and it really didn't matter. Like, I feel like I could have come into this fresh, and it was still a super cool world, and the animation is beautiful, and the story itself is just really well told. It's a good mystery they've got going.
Yeah, and it's not a
play
part of the storyline. It
not.
actually takes place before the first major arc. But that's what's that's what I mentioned about the last time we talked about it, is it's so cool that they've got these holes in the universe that they can fill in with really, really cool stuff or characters that they've mentioned but maybe they've never even seen in the comics. So that's exciting. I'm glad that you liked it as sort of a coming back to the
Now I was thinking it's probably going to make me buy more comics now.
That was going to be my next question. Now, is there, because this really happened with The Walking Dead. I mean, The Walking Dead had the game, it had the show, and then the comics was hitting, their 100th issue. So they had sort of this perfect storm of things. But I do think, I mean, could you potentially pick one up? Yeah.
I mean, it definitely makes me want to read Fables again. Absolutely. If that's going to end up turning into I have to buy every X-Men variant again. I mean, hopefully not.
Right.
I hope those days are past me.
I wish they would just release a compendium, because it's actually pretty rare when you're going to get comics that go into the 130s. A lot of times they'll reset back to 1 and whatnot. But, I mean, if they just released a giant compendium, I guarantee you that people would just buy the shit out of it.
I'd buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I read Bone at the time that came out, but I totally bought that complete Bone when that was out because it's such a great read all the way through.
It is.
And what I'm really happy about with The Wolf Among Us too is that this shows that Walking Dead was no fluke. I mean, we know Telltale made other games before that, so that wasn't their first game. But to me, it was the one that was like, okay, you guys are totally on fire now, and everything else was sort of a warm-up to The Walking Dead.
Right.
And now it's nice to see a whole other franchise handled so well, and it made me feel like, okay, it's not that The Walking Dead is such a cool franchise, or that the Walking Dead writers of this game were so much better than what Telltale did before. I mean, it really seems like now they have figured out how to make this kind of game really great.
Yeah.
So I'm on board for all the rest of the episodes for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold out until all 5 of those come, but I mean everyone's. I've kind of gotten past the.
It'll be 3. Watch
the first
JP.
episode. Like I'm over that hump, but I know as soon as the second one comes around, everyone's gonna start talking about it again. Just be like, oh god, I need to play it. But
3rd episode, JP.
the first episode was what, like 3-4 hours? About that.
Yeah, it's about right.
Okay.
How long did it take you, Marcus? Do you remember?
Well, I'm not totally finished yet, but I think 3-4 hours is on target. So
yeah. I don't know what else I'm playing. I'm still plowing through GTA.
Well, I saw you had the Stanley Parable on here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to hear your thoughts about that because I played through that and kind of blew my mind a little bit.
That game
I haven't touched that yet.
totally blew my mind, and you should get on that. I mean, I definitely think it's going to be one of my best games of the year by far. I mean, right up at the top. It's going to depend on what happens in the next few months. If any of the new releases are at that level, or Last Among Us, of course, or sorry, The Last of Us and GTA. But this game is truly, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just kind of a work of genius, you know? I mean, if you're a gamer and you're into it, and have spent a lot of time playing games and thinking about games, like this is us. Like, this is what this game is. I mean, I'm at a loss to how to describe it. And actually, the more I think talking about what it's about, it kind of ruins it in a way.
Yeah, I think
you just have to play it.
it is. It is an experience. You know, we talk sometimes about these games that aren't necessarily. I mean, you're playing it, but you're playing the experience. You're experiencing this story or this path, or I mean, there's. You just have to play it. I also, Jeff, tried to explain it to someone, and it's just. I can't. It's impossible.
You're experiencing the experience of playing games. Mm-hmm. It's like it knows you've played a lot of games, and every corner you go around, it's sort of knowing you're thinking something from some other game, and then it's messing with your mind. And it does it over and over and over again. And every time you think, you've gotten as far as it's going to go, or they can't take it to this level, then they do it again.
Right.
So they take you so far down the rabbit hole. It's really a super cool game.
Now, Jeff,
Awesome game.
Have you played Anti-Chamber?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
See, I have to suggest that to you because although if you imagine that the Stanley Parable is like a social commentary, but you know how it's still wrapped around a lot of like mental, just sort of I'm gonna twist everything around in your head a little bit. That's all Anti-Chamber is, and it's really it's an amazing experience as well. A lot of thought put into it. It's sort of it's a cross between Portal and the Stanley Parable.
Oh man,
yeah,
I'm in.
This game's a mind fuck, man. Don't play it.
It's good.
Do I want to play it sober?
You can just play it however you want. Sober, not, it'll all be great.
I played it sober, and then by the end, I felt like I was under some sort of influence, and I didn't finish it. I got
Sounds like the perfect game for this weekend.
There
I got
you
like
go.
3 hours in, and I was just like, "Fuck this game, man!"
Really?
I
Okay.
have the complete opposite experience with it, but I just got frustrated with it. I had a headache by the end of it. It was a totally different experience for me. I also streamed it, which was probably a big reason why I didn't like it, because it's full on puzzle game. So you're sitting there and you're just kind of like staring at this puzzle, trying to work it out in your brain, and everyone in the chat's like, "This guy's a fucking idiot. What is he fucking doing? Why the fuck isn't he doing that?" I'm like, "Oh God, guys, stop making fun of me. I'm just trying to figure this out."
That stuff's super stressful. I'll tell you. Yeah, I've been playing. I've still been going through Black Mesa on my own stream, and I haven't been that good at it. It's been a long time, and getting a little up there age-wise, so my twit skills aren't as good. And when I glance at the chat, I mean, actually most people are nice, but every once in a while it's like, "I'm sorry." And then if I start blowing things, I don't know if you guys have had this experience, it turns into like a total flop sweat. Like the thing I normally could do, once I blow it once, then I get a mental block. Like I'll get stuck on a ladder for like 15 minutes. And it's like, and I just want to like turn off the stream, like, and cry. Anyway.
Yeah. I think I've been there. Wheat's probably been there before as well.
Yeah.
Don't stream puzzle games is what I'm.
Yeah, no chance.
Exactly.
I just don't do it.
I want to expose how dumb you are. Ever.
Yeah. It is. It also happens in just normal games. What was I guess I was streaming Batman recently. The new Batman. I'll just jump into that. And there's been multiple, not really puzzles, but just like, what am I like? I'm looking in a room, like trying to figure out where I can climb to, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like looking at the chat. It's just like this huge flowing story of just how stupid I am as a person. I'm like, oh, it's right there. I just walked right by this person. But
and it's always a competition. If you did it in a minute and a half, then someone did it in a minute 28, JP, and you just suck.
Exactly.
But it is. Isn't that how it was in the game rooms anyway? Like growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do remember when Portal 1 came out. I was playing it through Steam, of course, and I started it in the evening, and then I went to bed, and I didn't turn it off. And so when I got up the next day and I finished it, all my friends on Steam were giving me shit because it said 17 hours played. Like, dude, how dumb are you? Like, the game is like 4 hours long. And I was like, no, like 10 of those hours don't count. Like, it just doesn't count.
Oh, that's
so I learned my lesson with Steam there. You got to turn it off because people watch that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
That happened with me in Far Cry 3. Like I have like 300 hours log, and people are like, "Wheat, really? Far Cry 3? Like it's a reasonable game, but come on, 300." I'm like, no, I'm the same way. No,
right?
Got it all wrong. It's not what it looks like, guys.
See, what you need to do, Wheat, is the opposite of that. You need to load up Dota 2 and just stay in the menus for hours upon hours. But so everyone's like, "Man, this guy's really good."
Yeah, but then when I stream and I show that I'm still a nub, people are like, "What's going on?"
Well, you're just. You're trying to appease the audience. You're trying to make it interesting so it's not so one-sided.
There you go.
I think Steam should add in some kind. There should be a patch in that says like, how many hours away from the computer or something, just to spare us the shame.
Right.
Of
Some of that stuff's also kind of. I don't know. I can't think of a game off the top of my head, but it's like I really spent 70 hours in like Skyrim, for example. Like I was like, I really spent like 114 hours in this game. It takes 10 to complete the story. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
So it's a weird counter. That's for sure.
The worst command in World of Warcraft for me was
oh god,
right?
Yeah.
Because when you added that up, it was just like total existential crisis time. Because it was like, wow, I've spent like literally months of my limited time on this earth playing this fucking game instead of like doing something useful.
I didn't even think about. I definitely had.
That didn't stop me from playing though. It just was. I'd feel shitty for a minute and then go back to my raid.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that right now.
JP, I can tell from your face that yours is super high.
No, it's over a year in game for sure across all the characters since release. There's no doubt about that.
Good work.
Yeah,
good work.
It's pretty bad, but it was worth it, man. The game was great.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Got me through college. Made me experience the MMO world.
There you go.
After all the better MMOs were already out, but yeah, it was a good game. It's a good game.
So someone was asking in chat, and the answer is yes. I have played it. I played some Lego Marvel superheroes with my son last week, and I gotta say, you guys. I mean, we've talked about how awesome the Lego games are before here on 8-Bits, and if you've ever played one, you know automatically they're the bomb. And this one is no exception. I cannot believe how many Marvel characters they just like put inside this one game. And it's not like, you know, some of the Star Wars and some of the like the Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potters, they have hundreds of characters you can unlock. And it's like, oh, that's neat, but essentially you're just unlocking clone after clone after clone after clone, right? Mm-hmm. Every single mutant you unlock that has their own unique mutant powers, you know, and it's just amazing that they put that much thought and that much time in it. So one of my favorite, Mr. Fantastic, you know, he stretches, that's his special ability, and he's also really smart, whatever. He can turn into different items, and it's just amazing to see this Lego figure, you know, do these stretching fightings. And you've got, you know, Wolverine with his claws, and obviously Hulk is a giant Lego figure, and so is Juggernaut. But it's just incredible how awesome they translate these worlds into the Lego universe. And I just can't not get blown away by these games. They're just so remarkable. And anyone who's played a Lego game or even loves Marvel, I guarantee you it's a great experience. The amount of villains from the comics across all the different characters that they have, it seems like it's just never going to end. I don't know how long the game is. We've put in about 6-7 hours, but there's so much to do after you beat the game too.
It's kind of funny now that you're saying this. It seems like that whole franchise, the Lego franchise, I mean, we all love it, right? And we all have favorites. It seems like it really probably doesn't get the respect it deserves in terms of, you know, if you ask any random gamer, like, you know, what are the best franchises in gaming? What are the coolest franchises? I bet Lego probably doesn't come up a whole lot, right? Because we all think it's sort of the obvious things, the Halos, whatever. And Lego doesn't immediately cross your mind. And of course, Lego being associated with little kids, and yet these games are so cool.
Yeah, they're really amazing. And I agree with you, Jeff. I mean, you know, I guess like when you put it out there like that, I would have to say that this has been one of the more enjoyable, let's just say next gen, which is now going to be previous gen experiences I've been, because it's something that I've enjoyed myself, that I've been able to enjoy with my son. You know, it's a nice breath of fresh air when it doesn't have F-bombs every other word, but it's still entertaining to me, and something that I don't feel like I have to be going around doing, you know, whatever. It's just really great. They knocked it out of the park with this one. It's so amazing. So if you skipped a few games or you love Marvel, you got to get in on this one. I think it's on PC now too, which it looks even better.
They have a demo on PC, so
yeah, okay, great.
That's probably where I'll play it. But
great.
Me too.
Yeah, I bet
I've
it
never
looks
played a
amazing.
Lego game. I think I told you this or admitted to this. So maybe that's it. Now's such a weird time to like jump into a franchise like that with next gen out, and within 2 weeks. Like I feel like I'd be doing it
Well,
a disservice.
It's JP. Like you're not gonna play Lego Marvel superheroes and go, holy shit.
Right.
I'm going
Right.
back to the beginning, baby. You know,
Sure,
like Lego
sure.
Island. Let's do it.
That's
But
true.
you know, I think that this is one of those games you should tuck away. And when you just need a nice change of pace, it's some enjoyable gameplay that you're going to be like, hell yeah, I'm having hella fun playing this game. This will be the one you want to pull out. You know,
Right.
Good point. That's a good point. Maybe I'll do that.
Or if you
Does
want
it have like the X-Men and stuff in it? Like,
Oh yeah.
So does Marvel own that license then to be able to put the X-Men in video games?
It's at this point, the way it works, because right now the Marvel franchise is in like all these weird, like in the movies, like the X-Men and Spider-Man are in different places than, you know, obviously the Avengers in that universe. But the way it works in the video games is like they were given the entire Marvel license for this. So, I mean, it is unending. The amount of guys that you are going to see in here.
Because even like in I brought up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but even in that, they're like, I want to say they're referencing like mutations and like the X-Men stuff, like with how a lot of people are getting their abilities in the show, but they won't say exactly what it is because I don't think they own those rights. So I was just curious
about that.
That one, I'm not sure how that one works.
I don't know who owns the TV rights because it was on Fox. The kids show was on Fox.
Well, it's
long
giant
on
circle.
ABC,
Yeah, ABC,
which owns
Disney.
Disney,
Right.
Yeah.
who owns Marvel,
Right. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. But there's like some residual rights that like carry on from the. So yeah, it's all sorts of crazy. But Sony. Sony still has Spider-Man, and Paramount, I believe, still has the.
Oh
X-Men.
wow.
But I don't know how that trickles down. Like that's how the movies are. So I'm not sure how that trickles down to things like the television show, which ties into the Avengers anyway. But it's all, it is funny that it's all owned by the same company anyway, but their own franchise.
Yeah,
anyway,
true.
Totally awesome, great, love it, fantastic.
I need to play that.
Play one.
You want to play that?
No, play any of them,
Any of
and
them.
you'll see.
Okay.
Like if you're huge into Batman or Lord of the Rings, play the franchise that you're most into, I would say.
I mean, like they haven't really struck out on any of the franchise they've chosen. Like I'll play the Harry Potter one. So.
The Harry Potter ones, I'll tell you, my kid, she grew up, you know, when those books and movies were coming out.
Right.
So we experienced them at the time, and I, of course, had to play all the Harry Potter games because of her. Well, not had to. That's not very nice. I wanted to play them with her. But the Lego games were like by far the best ones. Like wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the other ones were sort of okay, the sort of movie tie-in ones, but the Lego ones were awesome because they were funny.
Yep. And
I've heard the
they
humor's
followed.
pretty
They like followed everything that you did in the movie, or you know.
Did you guys see they announced like the Lego movie?
Yeah.
There's, like,
Have
a
you
trailer
actually
out for
seen
this.
it?
I
Because
saw the
it's
trailer. It
not-
looks pretty funny.
It's not. It's not CG. It's stop
It's-
motion,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
so they're
that's cool.
using real. It actually looks incredible.
looks pretty crazy.
Because it's so easy for them, right, to just make a 3D world. They could probably pump out a Lego movie every year if they want to do that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
cool that they're going this way. It's totally legit.
That's super cool.
Yeah, very good.
Should be funny though. I think Will Arnett's playing Batman in it, and
Yeah.
should be pretty good.
So they've got it's a Lego universe, but then they've got a lot of the Lego franchises that have been popular are also stars of the movie, which is great. Like my kid was literally like, "Are you kidding?" Like the ultimate crossover is happening. Batman, Chima, all the Lego minifigs. It's
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was playing like Noah or someone. Who is he supposed to like? I guess he's
Gandalf
Noah. I don't
or
know.
something. Yeah, like a.
He's got like a staff. But he's kind of like Gandalf-ish, but not really. I don't know. I don't know who he is. But
The Lego, you gotta hand it to the Lego people, man. Like what geniuses they are. This was like colored box that goes back to what decade?
You know,
The
they
40s?
reinvented themselves. Yeah.
Not only that, but we talk so much about the companies that don't necessarily listen to gamers. And I always appreciate companies that like listen to their community and set up like different things for them. So they have this program where people can suggest Lego sets, and it's gotten so extensive that people just they build what then they want Lego to like manufacture. And like one of my favorite, I mean, I'm a huge fan, but you know, Back to the Future, are you kidding me? Like a DeLorean, it switches into all three, and this is from the CUUS program where some guy built it, and they're like, enough people wanted this that then they went in and they did it. And apparently this has gotten so popular that now they're talking about doing the game from it. And I mean, what an amazing ecosystem that is. But yeah, these guys, it must be the best job in the world to be a Lego.
Seriously.
Yeah. They're doing something right when I spent $300 on a Super Star Destroyer from my 30-year-old brother last Christmas.
Well,
he's
since
ecstatic.
Since I'm looking for a job, if anyone from Lego is watching this and has seen me kiss your ass for the last half hour, please hire me.
Exactly.
That's
how it works.
All right, I did play a couple of mobile games. If we want to talk about BF4 a little extensively, I just want to. I have to mention one. First off, Bit Trip Runner, which is a console and a PC release. Did any of you guys play this?
I'm familiar with that. I watched Man vs. Games stream it for multiple hours.
That's where I saw it for the first time, and I'm familiar with like the Bit Trip series and those guys, and it's one of those runner games that has a point. Yeah. But it's kind of interesting because the iOS control scheme really sucks.
Is it tap in the right-hand side or something like that?
It is taps and motion swipes, but it confuses them all the time. Which I know that on a controller, if I was playing it, I would crush half of these levels. So I just want to warn anyone that saw this release. I did do a video on it, but I haven't released it yet. It's got a really funky control scheme. So you're going to have this extra learning curve that I don't think the game intends for you to have. However, it looks gorgeous and is an exact, port aside from the shoddy controls overall.
Yeah, that's a big iOS problem. I just had that problem the other day, actually, yesterday with Limbo, which I saw came out on iOS, and they had like a $1 sale for Halloween or something. So I picked it up, and I've played through that game before, so I know how to play it.
Right.
I know what the puzzles are, and I couldn't do it. I mean, the swipes I was making, I kept like dying, even though I knew what I was trying to do. I like the iOS a lot for certain types of games, but motion games like that are super tough.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost rather have a controller, right? I mean, and which is a shame because there are so many games that have amazing motion controls, but there's a lot that don't translate well. The other iOS game I wanted to just bring up real quickly because it's so unique. It's called Papa Sangre 2, and I don't know if anyone's heard of the first one. Is this ring any bells?
Ringing a bell but wasn't it a console title?
No.
Am I making that up?
No, I don't. Okay. Unless it was ported over, and I don't think so. There's basically no graphics in the game. It is a 3D sound experience in which you still use sort of the gyroscope to tell where you're at and what you're doing. And you guys, it's kind of amazing what they do with sound, and you obviously it's an immersive experience. If you put on some headphones and like put yourself in a dark room, it's going to kind of blow your mind. But the big deal about this one is that Sean Bean from Lord of the Rings, but yes, does the and Game of Thrones, right? He does the narration. So in addition to all the sound effects, he's sort of the narrator. God, you guys, I can't even make a video about it because it's just like you would never understand what is happening, but it's so incredible that they just basically are like, you know what, fuck graphics. We're going to design a game using nothing but sound, and they pull it off. It's $3.99. Wow. It's so, if you want another iOS experience that you're just not going to be able to get anywhere else, it's totally worth the $3.99.
And what's the name again?
Papa Sangria.
Papa Sangria. Okay.
It's Sangra. Sangre. It might be Sangre. Sangria, I think, would be an IA. So Sangre, Papa Sangre.
He did what was he narrating? He narrated the Train Simulator 2014.
What?
Sean Dean?
Yeah,
Really?
he narrated the trailer for it, and it was the best video game trailer I've ever seen. It starts off and he's like, "We ride them every day," and I'm like, "Oh my God, is that Sean Bean? Trains, they take us to our life," and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Sean Bean."
He must have had a light work schedule that week.
He must have.
It was a really. I almost bought Train Simulator because he was narrating. It was awesome. It was a great narration of the like 3-minute trailer that was had never showed the game at all or like talked about what you do in the game. It was just him talking about trains and how they work and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. So
Look at this. There's a picture of him. It's a picture of him doing the voice work. Oh, what are the chances? Yeah, hold on. Let me bring it up. I can't even believe it. I mean, what are the chances? All right. We got a picture. Yeah. He didn't phone it in, guys. He actually sat down in the studio and did this. This is legit.
Wow.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, so this engine, the 3D, they actually have, they've made this engine specifically for this sort of audio experience, and I just love games that do something that I've never experienced before. So
you sold me on it.
Awesome. Hopefully anyone else go check it out. All right. What do we? Oh wait, before we go on to BF4, I have to ask because Jeff, you have another game on your list, Card Hunter.
Oh yeah.
What's Card?
Have you guys heard of Card Hunter? Do you know that game?
I don't think so. I'm looking right now though.
You should go check it out. It's cardhunter.com, and if you can get the name of the company, I feel terrible. I forgot. I meant to look it up before I came on. It
is Blue Manchu.
Okay, now these guys, if you don't know, this is former Irrational guys. So these are people who worked on the BioShock games. This has nothing to do whatsoever with that. But what it is it's basically like a old school, like it's almost like a D&D tabletop simulator mixed in with a collectible card game stuff. A little bit hard to describe, but if you look at it. It's super old school. If you played D&D, especially in the old days, if you're old like me, and if you're not, and you're younger and do play D&D, you'll still recognize it. In which you're given modules. There's a kind of fake DM there, and there's a whole campaign. And there's you progress through the different modules, but as you're making your way through the campaign, you earn cards that you then use.
This is awesome.
To do battle. It's really good. Also, it's free to play, and don't be scared because I'm way far in the campaign and I haven't spent a penny. I don't know if that's good for them, but it's a free game. Just cardhunter.com. And if you're at all inclined towards tabletop games or RPGs or any of that kind of stuff, I totally recommend it.
So, first off, how long have you been playing? This is so cool.
That looks really involved.
At least a few weeks. A few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. I put it down for a while, which is why I didn't mention it the first time I was on, but I'm back into it again. I started playing because I was thinking about streaming it, and I couldn't make up my mind if that would be doable or too boring over a stream or not. It probably isn't. Right. It would probably work.
I mean, I think people would be interested in watching it just because I've never seen, anytime something that you've never seen, and since you're far enough in the game. Is there any multiplayer? You'd mentioned like there's campaigns. Yes. Is there like we play it together or something like that? I
believe so. Honestly, I haven't tried it, but I can swear that there is. If I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody can correct me. But it's there's so they give you a DM. I think someone just asked that in chat. That there is the game is the DM, but the presentation of it is so awesome because the writing and everything about it is they really emulate this sort of you're in your living room with your buddies. I think there's even like a jar of Cheetos there on the game screen. So cool. It's like sort of cheesy looking, but it's that way on purpose. Like they're kind of just going for it in that way. It's all a little sort of low rent graphics, but I think they were really trying to emulate this sort of 1970s, DM experience. I don't know, super
Yeah.
cool.
I think you
Highly
sold
recommend.
pretty much everyone in chat right now, including me, who's signing up at this very moment. So
It's free. It's free. You got nothing to lose.
I
literally.
got damn straight, except for my time. Thank you
Except
very much,
time.
Jeff.
And
Thank you.
that's on
Yeah.
iOS, you said?
No,
No.
it's on. It's a
Desktop,
browser
dude.
Oh, it's okay. Because I started to say, I was like, that looks really involved for like a handheld type game. Okay.
And they do a great job of babying you through it too. So you
Well,
know.
Yeah, here we go. People are asking. It's a really tough URL. It's cardhunter.com.
Yeah.
Cardhunter.com.
Cardhunter.com.
Okay. What is the like what can you buy? What is monetized in that? Is it the different
It's
stories
sort
or
of
whatever?
like-
The different packs?
There's the main thing is when you complete a quest, and you get the reward at the end. You get a certain amount of loot or whatever. You'll usually get like an epic item or a rare item or something and gold. And then they show you it grayed out greater rewards that if you signed up for their monetization scheme, you would have gotten that. So you can get better rewards if you do it.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the tier system is like for money because I haven't paid anything. But this is actually one of the free-to-play games, or maybe the only one recently, where I've played so much and it's so good that I feel guilty that I haven't given them any money. So I know I'm going to pay. I mean, this game is very generous with letting you play without paying. But for once, I feel like I want to support this game because they're being super generous with it. I hope they're making money.
Yeah, there's always that question of with these free-to-play games, like, are they actually profiting from doing this, or is no one buying whatever's monetized, right? Like, that's got to be such a thin line to really know what to monetize properly in a free-to-play game.
Science. There's whole careers.
Yeah. I find this really fascinating. I mean, not only because at Twitch I focus a lot on the mobile initiatives, but also I'm a huge mobile gamer and an advocate myself. I've spent money in games before. I've been sucked in many times. And what I always find interesting is that a lot of times these games, whether they intentionally do it or not, can really easily disclose the amount of users that play them. So, I wonder this myself. Like, I'm playing this new one, Hello Hero, which is, very well done. It has great graphics, and obviously a good team put this all together. And I can tell that there's about 7,000 to 10,000 people that are playing this game due to their leaderboards and, stuff like that, the way that it ranks people. So, I do wish, like, I could read a paper or something about what percentage of these companies actually yield a profit that allows them to keep going. But there's so many of them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have to imagine that they're either able to break even or I just, how does it, I don't.
I can tell you, just my own experience. You guys know, if people don't know, like I actually work for PopCap. I'm leaving, but I've been at PopCap for 3 years. And, as some people know, a lot of our games have transitioned to that model. And it's controversial. It was controversial at PopCap, I promise you. And, all the theories about is it worth it to go free to play? It will like blow your mind how much how deep the thinking gets. I mean, we have hired people whose whole job is to do that. And there's so many different theories. And, what ended up being the prevailing theory at PopCap, whether it's true or not, I don't know, was that to charge $1 for the game and let everybody play everything, even though that's what most normal gamers want, right? You just want to pay and leave me alone. That's how I feel. But what they're banking on, what all these companies are banking on, is that they're going to get more people initially because free is just going to inspire that many more downloads. And then the amount of people who monetize ever in any of these games, it never goes above like 5%. 5% would be like an incredible hit. So they know ahead of time, 95% of people or more will never pay a penny. But what they're hoping and banking on is that those 5% are going to be out of control.
They're like
And-
the whales or whatever. is
and-
what they
The
call it.
whales is the
Yeah.
term that they use.
A
whales.
lot of times, those who are willing to spend money are actually willing to spend money more than once. So it's not like there's a bunch. It literally seems like it is, I'm not paying a dime, or I'm willing to pay money, and I'm probably willing to pay you money more than once if I keep playing your game, or switching to another game or something. So,
the whole thing about whales, that came from the casino world, of course.
Sure.
And what it is that they want to treat the people who spend money great.
Right.
So like if you get out of the game, it's just like in Vegas. If you're not in there a while, they'll go, hey, we notice you haven't been playing Candy Crush in a while, Marcus. Here's 8,000 coins for nothing. Come on back, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you start spending money because those people at the top spend so much money it will blow your mind. Like you're talking thousands of dollars.
Man, that's crazy. I'm trying to think of like a free-to-play game that I've spent a lot of money in. But
But you can say that you've spent. Let's do a poll. Can you name a game that you have spent money on that was free to play that you've?
I mean, I guess Hearthstone. I spent $60 in that.
Sure.
The first day it came out. I don't think any other.
I spent like $3 in Temple Run 2. I think that's it for me.
I know my roommate spent over.
Yeah, League.
Oh yeah, I guess I spent money in League of Legends.
Yeah.
I don't even consider that to be a free-to-play game because it actually just takes your life. It's not free-to-play.
Yeah.
See, League of Legends is one that when I was at PodCap and arguing about these things all the time because anyway, I shouldn't go into my feelings on this stuff, but League of Legends was one that I held up as being a pretty cool scheme. Like that one seems very fair to gamers, and it seems like what you're getting for your money is worth it. Plus the fact that you really can get super deep into that game without spending a penny. Super deep.
Yeah.
And you can earn your way through.
And I think that is what people look for. Is like, how far can I go before I feel like it's the IAP becomes the annoying aspect of the game.
Sure.
I will confess that I'm still playing Candy Crush Saga. I've deleted it at least twice, and then I reinstall it because part of my brain is like, man, fuck that game. Like, and my whole reason for playing it is just to not have to pay. Like, I'm determined that I'm going to beat it without paying. That's my motivation to play it, is to show them that I don't have to pay. Which is just stupid.
I'll get
It's
you.
a stupid. Because their deal is if you pay, like if you get through the one level or you're almost through and you're down to 2 moves and they give you that option at the end, you want to keep going, you want 5 more moves, pay $1. If you do that even once, they've admitted this, the developers have admitted this, they will then make the game harder on you. It tweaks the levels because they know you are now willing to give them money.
So at what point, though, gambling and especially like video, no, I mean, seriously, like all of the video gambling, it's under very strict guidelines. It cannot cheat you in a way. At what point? Because I don't know if you guys remember, you remember when Sony SOE came out and said, we'll never sell our own virtual goods because, they were the first ones to kind of bring this up. But, I mean, this has been popping up more and more lately, and that I think that, Jeff, this doesn't surprise me. Like, I bet that these companies have been doing this and are loving this in the iOS and Android world. Just like, they spent some. But at what point do we go, that's not fair anymore, like for a consumer,
Oh, I'm sure they're not the only ones at all.
Oh yeah.
But when I heard that though, I think that's when I reinstalled it. I was just like, oh yeah.
Number 2, let's do it.
Yeah, I was my roommate spent, I want to say almost $500 or $600 on Marvel. What is their free-to-play game called?
Oh my
Marvel.
gosh, yeah, the Marvel Heroes, I think.
Marvel Heroes, I think is what it's called. But they sell like skins for like $20. Like they just released. They're really reaching out. They just released Squirrel Girl, which is I didn't even
Oh
know
my
was
God!
actually.
Reinstalling. I've been waiting for ages.
I actually didn't know that was a Marvel hero, but apparently she's like defeated Doctor Doom and shit. Some I don't understand that, but it was $20 or something like that for her.
Yeah.
And my roommate was like super stoked to be able to play as Squirrel Girl.
Oh my God! There she is.
I don't know. Yeah, look, you've already got costumes for her. They're at least 2
Crazy.
costumes right away, and they're like $10-15 each.
Great. I've got my next Halloween costume set.
Yeah. There you go. A year from now, Jeff's gonna be dressed up as Squirrel Girl.
That's, yep.
Oh God.
Wow.
Frighten
Right.
everybody.
I think I covered all my games. Do we want to just spend a little bit of time on Battlefield 4 and then we'll take our break and
Yeah,
might
that
work
works.
out perfectly. So, I mean, I for a few weeks now, JP, people have heard us say, "Oh my God, this is what I love, I love, I love, I love." So I don't actually am not going to spend as much time on what I love, other than one thing I want to bring up, because I think there's like now's the time it's been released. I want to talk about maybe some of the things that are somewhat annoying to me. First and foremost, I think that this whole launch from the browser, I double click my Battlefield 4 icon, it takes me to my battle log. I'm sorry, but I love this. I love being able to configure my loadouts in the web page and look at what I unlocked and not feel like I have to be tied to the client all the time in order to just see my progression and stuff. God, I wish more games did this.
That's cool.
I really, really love this, you guys.
It really sucked when it first came out for Battlefield 3 because it was such a different experience to kind of do that. But now I'm right there with you. Like I like everything about it. It's so much easier to not have to load up the game and sit through the 10 or 15 adverts that come at the beginning of every game now, the NVIDIA stuff, all the different developers and all that stuff. Now you just like click a button and it immediately boots into the game. And it doesn't even actually like go full screen until it's fully loaded. So the second you actually pop into the game, you're playing right there.
That's great.
It's really smart.
Can you do this on a mobile device too?
So they have the commander
You can look at the
stuff.
battle log.
You can. Yeah.
You can definitely look at the battle log, which is the web interface. But have they released that the commander
I
iOS
was just
app?
actually looking that up right now.
So one of the things that you can do, in the game is this commander mode, which you kind of control your team.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, I don't know if you feel the same. I don't even know if you've played it yet, Wheat, but they basically made the Battlefield 2 commander mode, which was a full-fledged commander mode where you were also a part of the game walking around as a soldier, and then you could go into like commander mode and you could see the entire map and drop supplies and do airstrikes and things like that. But now it's been like iOS-ified or mobile-ified, where it's really, for a PC gamer experience, it's really lame. Like they didn't spend any time changing that for a desktop user.
But
for a mobile user, it's great.
Okay, yeah. So you would, and I don't know if this functionality exists quite yet. We got the indication that no. The battle log is available. You can do a lot of stuff from there, but not the actual commandering. But from that, you could see yourself. I'm not at my PC.
Totally.
I'm gonna commander a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are saying that releases in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's
November
not too bad.
19th for the tablet commander.
Okay.
Which it is pretty awesome because, like you said, I could be on a plane, I could be in a hotel somewhere, and I could load up this battle log app, connect to my server, and there I am in the game, basically making real as if I would be like affecting a multiplayer server that 64 people are playing in, and you're kind of like doing UAV scans, and certain levels have in Conquest. It's only available in Conquest and Obliteration in the game types.
Wait,
but
are you saying you can do this even when you're not also in the client? Like you could just be, like you said, sitting on an airplane?
Oh yeah.
And you're affecting other people's experience in the game?
Yeah.
Oh
it's really
shit,
smart.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's really smart. Yeah. So like, you could do the UAV on certain maps. There are gunships that you can spawn, which then people that are playing the game on their PC can then jump into this gunship and shoot things on the ground. And then there's one that some of the levels have cruise missiles where you can just like target a position on the map and say shoot here, and a gun or a missile, I don't know what type of missile it is, will fire off from like a aircraft carrier and go up in the air, then eventually lands on top of that thing. And you're apparently going to be able to do this all from your handheld.
In the games you played, JP, I was curious about this. Was there ever a situation where it's like this team had a commander and they just like stomped the other team?
It actually makes, if you play a game, I've played a lot of games where one team has a commander and the other doesn't, and usually the team with the commander
is going to win.
Yeah. Or if they're incredibly behind, will potentially come back, just because the UAVs give you free range on whatever, like whoever's around you at all time as an actual player. So if you're going to like take out C and you're with 3 other people and they have an entire group there of 10, and someone puts down a UAV on top of it, then you can see all 10 of those people every second of their existence for, I think it's like 30 seconds or something. So you can basically just like pick them off one by one, since you know exactly where they're at.
Interesting.
I just wish it was different for, like, I guess you can't make it different for desktop commanders or whatever you call it. Just because if you did, then it would actually be broken. It would go into that territory of just being way too overpowered and having too much of an impact on the game.
What are you guys playing it on? What platform?
PC.
Yeah, PC. All the way, yeah.
All the way, yeah.
I wouldn't touch the current generation versions of it, just because it graphically, I honestly think it is, like, every time I load into it, I'm just like, God, this game looks fucking amazing. And then I realize that there's 64 people in the game, and it's going to continue up with that performance. Like, there's no way. Maybe next gen. I think they've said that on PS4 it's like 720/60 for the resolution. It looks about the same. I know that's what two of my brother, who's a long time.
It's only 12v12 on console, I'm being told.
Is it only 2? That's the
max.
max.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's according to chat. Battlefield console according to chat.
Okay, that's on Xbox PS3 though. I don't know if that's on next gen.
Oh, I'm not sure about that either. What about, so here's another thing, and a lot of people are going to say this, maybe this is a bit nitpicky, but going back to the battle log, which I really love, I'm not a fan of the server browser inside. And I want to make a comment right now, is that I have unfortunately experienced a lot of servers where I've logged in and had really laggy gameplay. I think that this is partially because of the, maybe the servers themselves. I don't think it has to do with connections. But one of the things I don't like about the server, and I'm just going to show it live here, is that I just refresh, and right now I have it ticked to find all the Conquest games. And so I'm going to click refresh, and it instantly gives me a ton of servers, right? A lot of them empty. So I can go back in and I can remove that. But I wonder why it's not giving me more servers at the higher end every single refresh. Like, even if I go in and we don't want all, when I refresh, I get like a different set of servers.
It is a little
each
different.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I even think back to the days of GameSpy, where it's like, dude, refresh 10,000 servers for me. I'm okay with that. I will wait a minute and a half,
that might
so
be
that
the reason.
I can choose my own damn server. But I don't like this whole, well, let me give you a sample. It's like, no, I want the whole entree, and then let me choose from there. I know, a bit nitpicky, but when I keep connecting to servers and then it's like, no, this one is bad, then I have to try it again. But then maybe I found a good one, I forgot to favorite it, I'm never going to find it again. Kind of.
That's awful.
As a long time guy who used All Seeing Eye and as a PC found servers forever, I think this sucks. Yeah, so.
Yeah, listening to you, that sounds like 2001 or something.
Right. I mean, I'm getting into games. I'm finding games. It's not like I'm finding zero, but it's just, come on. Where's my choice?
I think it's been like, I'm trying to think back to Battlefield 3. Like, there's only 5 servers at the very top that are below 30 ping, and I know that's not real because I live in Dallas, which is a giant hub for game servers in North America. So I know that there are thousands of servers that are below 20 ping, and that's where my server's hosted. I know for a very good reason why it's hosted here is because there's a billion servers and server infrastructure in Dallas and San Antonio as well, with Rackspace and a couple of other giant server companies here. But that is a little bit annoying. Granted, all I've done is play on my own server. I have not played a single game on any other server.
Your server's
so that's
good,
kind of
JP. I'm serious. I'm
lucky experience.
I messaged you in a rage. I was like, "Damn it, JP!" I'm like, "All the servers suck." I'm like, "We had to just send everyone to your server because it's the only server that I played." I mean, there's been a few others, but I just can't believe how laggy they are.
The other thing that is annoying, and I see a lot of people talking about it in chat, and we've experienced this on my server as well, is that for whatever reason the client, I don't know if it's a memory leak or what it is, they haven't really come out and said it, but it crashes. If you're playing for a 2-hour period, you're at least going to have one crash in there, whether it's going to be a client crash or it's going to be a server crash.
Yeah.
I know that they've released, I think they're on like Rev 3 or something like that for the servers right now. So they're working on the stabilization of the servers every day. Obviously, I mean that's all they're going to do for the next month probably.
When it's a client crash, does it take you out of the match?
Yes, and it also sucks because the way that. So the points at the end of every match, and even when you disconnect, there's about a 5-second kind of just black screen with a little like 3-bar dot, on the top right. And what it's doing is it's sending all your information to Origin, so that it can update your character or your soldier or whatever with the points you just earned in that game. When you crash, it doesn't do that, so then you lose all of the work that you just had in the game. So I've probably lost like 80,000 points.
Oh man,
which is pretty
over the course
insane.
of the game.
Like that could be a couple levels.
That's at least 3 or 4 levels, and that is a huge annoyance to me. But I just click play now, and I'm jumping right back in every time. So they've obviously got something good going.
This
for
is
them.
a big enough problem that they're going to have to address this pretty quickly. I mean, they've alluded to the fact that they're looking into it, that they know people are having issues. So it's not like it's something that they're not working on.
I mean, and not to excuse it, but this shit happens every time with every new game like this.
Exactly.
I mean, I tend to just kind of wait it out a little until the dust settles and people stop complaining. That's when I'll jump in.
I haven't been on the message boards or read too many gaff posts or anything like that. I haven't seen too much negative criticism of the game.
No, I haven't seen a shitstorm like we've seen with other games.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's all funny because this is all like sort of outside of the game that we're talking about. I mean, if you want to be on top of a building sniping a dude only to have the ceiling cave in because a tank is shelling you and having jets fly overhead, like it's all amazing. So like JP said, it's like, well, I crashed, son of a bitch, next game, go in, let's do it.
Yeah.
I find myself not getting really angry at teammates because you just die. It's like, it's weird. It's such an enjoyable team experience.
The other thing too is it does such a good job. Whoever planned out their bonuses or whatever I'm trying to say, the positive reinforcement in this game is insane. You can go 10-10, which is pretty average score. But in that course of going 10-10, you're going to have 20 things pop up on your screen, gun earned or attachment earned or squad leveled up to, there's different squad levels which get you bonuses in the game, like sprint faster, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just constantly doing that nonstop throughout the game. And
they
you
understand
don't even
that we like to be rewarded all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we do. Yes,
you loaded the game, get an achievement.
You don't even realize that you've just been getting murdered this entire game, but you've gotten so much shit. You're just like, well, I guess I could try out that new rocket I just unlocked for the tank because I killed 2 people in a tank earlier in this match. I got to level up for my tank or something like that. So it's really cool.
I've always loved the Battlefield franchise, and others do this, but what I always appreciated in this series, going all the way back to 1941, was that I could do well and get a good score even if I happened to suck at shooting. That there was enough other things to do to make it worthwhile. And in fact, Battlefield in particular, I always am a flag runner, and it blows my mind. I don't know what it's like now in this game, if that's still mostly the point, is capturing the waypoints. But in the old games, it used to blow my mind how many people didn't do that. You know,
Right.
like everyone, and it was, and I could just rack up points going from flag to flag, and I'm like, why isn't anyone else
actually
doing
better
this? This is so
in this
point.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
better because instead of so in the old ones you would get like 200 points for capping the flag at the end of the flag capture, right? For this one, when you're sitting in the flag, as it's ticking up, you're getting 20 points like every
Oh,
second.
nice.
So you can,
Cool.
I think for a full base cap, it's 500. I want to say.
250, I thought.
And those points.
Well,
to
if
sit-
you
even if-
unflag it, then
Oh
you get.
yeah. My bad.
Oh,
What were we
okay.
gonna say, Jeff?
Well, if you're waiting, if you're capturing it and you get killed, you don't lose those points that you were getting.
No, no, they stay on
They
your.
tick
your
up
group.
as you're.
Oh, that's
know,
cool.
It tells you,
Yeah.
and this happens in a lot of different situations. Someone was commenting that you can literally just mark people. And be one of the top scorers in the game, but I mean that's so cool, right? I love that. No matter how you want to play the game, it does give you the freedom to just be that guy. I want to be the annoying guy that just drops C4 on shit. I want to be the sniper. I want to always drive a vehicle. I want to, I want to be one of those amazing helicopter pilots that I'm like, what are you doing wasting your time in a game when you can pilot this unpilotable vehicle? You should be joining something.
No one's beaten the rule yet. No one's beaten the rule of whoever can.
Yes.
I will say this: whoever can get in a helicopter for their first time ever and fly it, and you have to have video proof. And I don't know how you can prove this to me that you're the first time flying. I will give you actual money that you do not, or that you crashed that thing.
Yes.
If you don't crash it, then you're like a god. You're like the Rain Man of helicopters.
You are we said, Jeff, the first night it happened, we were saying, is he the one? Is he gonna get? Because they're like, "Wheat, pilot the helicopter." Be like, "Am I the one? Am I Neo? Am I Neo of the helicopter?"
He does this thing where he does this and he goes, boom.
I'm like, I got it. Oh shit!
And that's the movement that happens to everyone where it goes like this. And it's like, what? I don't know what it is about humans, but they always just want to flop on them.
I cannot pilot air vehicles in games. I just can't do
man.
it. I've never done it in the Battlefield games because I always die.
I'm convinced that every jet and helicopter I actually see in game is a fucking AI player because there's no damn way that these guys are that good. And
some guys are amazing, right?
They are so incredible, Jeff. They are so incredible.
There's a streamer whose name I can never pronounce. It's like Widgie Bear or something like that on Twitch TV. He is hands down the best helicopter pilot
Is he the guy that popped himself out of the helicopter to repair it, and then as he hit the ground or as he was about to hit the ground? What?
Dude, and that's just normal for him. He'll do things where he'll go up, shoot some helicopter, only kill the pilot, jump out of his helicopter midair, land in the other guy's helicopter midair, and then take his while the guy that was in his helicopter constantly repairing him, take his helicopter and take it back over to the base so that he doesn't have any other helicopters to deal with it. He just keeps it alive. Like this guy is, and he doesn't use a joystick or anything. He uses Alt and spacebar for nose up, nose down, and uses his keyboard for everything else and flies with his mouse.
A savant.
He is crazy. He said it took him 2 or 3 years to get that good, and that's all he does is just fly the helicopters.
In that amount of time, he could have got his real helicopter.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably could have.
He streams constantly, but the people that can fly in that game are just insanity to me. They're just too good at the game.
There's something about that series too that I mean, well, I haven't played in a long time, but when I was really into it, I always try to be a good team player, and I'm out for best. But there's something about that would also occasionally bring out the inner asshole in me, especially if there were teammates that were if I could see people being super uptight, it sort of brought out the asshole vigilante in me. It's I'm going to make it worse on them now. So I would do things if I knew they were around and they were heading towards a vehicle and I was driving, I would just drive us over a cliff on purpose, just to make them angry because they were already angry. And I was I just want to see you rage quit. You shouldn't be playing this angry. You're missing the point of the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it worse on you to teach you a lesson.
I like that. I like that philosophy.
There you go.
I'm not proud.
All right, guys, we've gone a little bit over. Should we take our break and then come back, talk about some of the news, maybe open up the phone lines? Does that sound good?
Sounds good to
right.
me.
All right, that's the plan then, guys. We'll be back with our second hour of 8-Bit. Stick around. Don't go away.